Hello there, everyone. This is SoulServer17 here. I'm your first as usual. I don't know the picture, this is not a paid video. Alright, okay. So, no thumbnail for this. One, because I'm not gonna do a face reveal until later on in life. So yeah. Anyways, we're gonna be going right to the USJ. And, well, yeah. So, today's technically the anniversary when my ex said she didn't want me in her life no more. So, I was going to make a Shigaraki what if, it was an idea from somebody. So, like, they said, what if Shigaraki was, chill? I just think that, he's calm, cool, and, he doesn't act the way he does. But I would have made him more into, a villain. I mean, he'll be a villain with All For One, but then he, for all the life he had, besides his childhood, he met Aizawa, and then some stuff, then, I was gonna make him that one, but, this one just came in my head saying, oh, I gotta make this one, tomorrow, after this, I gotta do my schoolwork, so, yeah. I'm gonna upload this when I'm going to school. It's already 9:48, and so, not going to school, when I'm going to work. So, yeah, hopefully you guys understand that. But, anyways, this is What If I Was in My Hero Academia? Part 3. So, as basically, we're gonna start off that morning after Aizawa. No, I had Aizawa Toe. I went in the classroom and me. So, let's just start from there. Basically, after done looking up what the USJ means, I was like, oh, that place. Alright. Well, since I know it's gonna happen, well, I can't prevent it. So, everything here is different, so, I don't know what's exactly gonna happen. I'm thinking this to myself. I say, though, but the one thing is I do know what's gonna happen is Midoriya's probably gonna rush in and just do some crazy stuff. So, yeah. So, I basically am just saying, alright, so who should I take down? Shigaraki, the Nomu, Kirigiri. Should I take down one of those people first? Maybe it'll make it a lot more easier. Then I gotta fight all those villains. Man, this is gonna be tough. So, Deku noticed I was basically thinking. Yeah, he came over and asked me, hey, Soul, what are you thinking of? He was like, just something about the USJ. That's all. He's like, alright, wanna go and do something? It's like, yeah, sure, why not? Yo, Bakugo, you wanna come? Bakugo just listened to me, was like, yeah, sure, why not? So, when school ends, me, Deku, Bakugo, all go out and just basically go to the arcade and just play games for an hour or two, and then we go home. And so, after dinner and everything else, I go to and doing whatever homework I had, I just go to sleep. And so, the next day, wake up, basically, getting ready for school, after eating breakfast, heading off to school, just to have fun fighting off villains. Heck, I even warned my parents. I go like, so here's the thing, Mom, Dad. Before I tell them before I leave, we're like, there's going to be a villain attack at UA, and like, huh? Why are you not telling them? Because if they know, just in case this is like even though this is different from the anime, if I do something, I want to, experience it, try to, have a little bit of fun. And they go like, oh yeah, you are like that, even though you know something, you won't tell us. But, yep, so just be warned. If something happens, especially to me breaking my arms, don't be surprised, because they're going to have something called a Nobu that is going to have 2 quirks. Shock absorption and, regeneration. In which my parents will go like, and you're going to try to fight it, are you? We go like, yeah. It basically hurt one of my favorite characters in My Hero Academia from the anime. And they ask, who was he? Or she? Or which character? I go, Shoto Aizawa. And I just close the door and leave. And then like, wait, that's the name of his teacher, right? As my dad says, and basically my mom says yes. But they're not basically Aizawa is one of my favorite characters. So, yeah. I would basically get mad at this. And so, after getting to school and, talking to everyone, Aizawa comes in and says, alright everyone, get into your hero costumes, get onto the bus, we're going to the USJ. Everyone just be like, alright, so that's what we do. And well, we talk about each other's quirks. They say, basically, instead of Izuku, since he has this fire breath, and I think I gave all for one to someone, or, yeah, one for all to someone. I think I gave it to Izuku, but whatever. As basically everyone talks about their quirk, they say how Midoriya's flame quirk is really strong, and then they go back to mine. They're like, so Soul. They're like, yeah. Can you explain us more about your quirk? Even Basuyu does say, yeah, and how come it's so much similar to All Might? As Bakugo and Deku just snicker at this, and they like, even Jiro and Mina, Todoroki just kind of like scoffs at this a little. I mean, Tsuyu just says, what? It is similar to All Might, as Deku says, no, it's not. All Might uses on pure strength. Here, Soul has to get physically angry at something to even have power close to All Might. Heck, he probably has no limits to his quirk on how strong he can get when he's angry. And I'm like, there probably is a limit, Izuku. And Bakugo's like, yeah, right. I mean, from just one, basically we were just kids, you were able to use the wind pressure to knock me and the 2 goons I had basically onto the ground crying in pain. And you didn't even touch us. It was the wind pressure alone. So don't tell me that you're, have no limits. And I go like, yeah, whatever. As they go like, is this true? And I go like, yep. That's, a good part of my quirk. But there's a downside. And Totoro goes, what? He goes, I break my bones. In which they're like, huh? Says, the more angry I get, I basically have like a limit to how much power I can use. Because if I go over that limit, my bones could break. And I haven't, but I do have a healing factor because of my quirk. And they go like, Totoro goes, wait, so you break your bones, you can heal them, but not rapidly. It takes time. He's like, okay, and then what? Like, what happens if you go max power? He was like, I don't know. I mean, I probably have to snap to even be shown my full power, and that could probably kill me. Who knows? And Deku just, I mean, not, and Zuko basically just says, "Have you ever snapped before?" And I go like, "Oh no." And Ojiro goes, "Wait, so that time when I hit you with my tail and I kept on dodging your punches, you just said you were annoyed. That was not you snapping?" They're like, "Well, I mean, I ran, grabbed your arm, jumped up in the air, and, did what I did. So, hey, it's not my problem that you couldn't see that coming." And Ojiro was like, "Nope, not doing this, not doing this." So yeah. And Mina and George just asked though, like, so how much anger do you have? Like, I just think about my past, and I go like, don't know, don't care. All I know is the more anger I get, the stronger I get, and the more harm I do to myself. That's how I live my life. And they said, that's kind of painful. He was like, get used to the pain. I mean, I can't even tell whenever I hurt myself. Even just 1% can just kind of like fracture a bone or crack it a little. And like, what? Just 1%? And like, yeah. It's very dangerous sometimes. And I have to use at least 2 to 3% just to make an energy blast, so yeah. Which everyone just sat on the bus, even Aizawa. And so, like, after getting to the USJ, 13 tells, like, what the USJ means and, like, what's happened, what it's used for. Basically, Uraraka does fangirl. Deku's just being, like, okay. Bako just doesn't, care. They even say about how quirks, when people to use their quirks, they can be villainous, and some who use it could be heroic. As I just go like, yep, same speech like in canon. And I just tell Mr. Aizawa, like, hey, Aizawa, there's something that's gonna happen, and they're gonna have a thing someone's gonna have a thing that's gonna have 2 quirks. If I were you, I would just not try to fight it. Alright? And he was like, wait, what? He was, just trust me on this one, okay? He was like, fine. As in, like, Aizawa does, like, go, as everyone goes into the USJ, the doors closes, I'm like, in 3, and then, basically, I'm just saying this while I'm walking to the edge, like, where to the stairs, basically, are just like, wait, just start to go down, so basically I say, in 3, 2, 1, and then the portal opens, and then right on cue, Kirishima says, hey, I didn't know we had, like, fake villains. As in, I say to Kirishima, right when I was about to say it, goes like, these aren't fake villains, Kirishima. As he goes, wait, what? It goes, these are real villains. A league of villains. And as soon as Shigaraki's about to say something, I say, and they're here to kill All Might. And Shigaraki goes like, hey, who said my line? And I'm like, nothing, handyman. Also, get some chopstick. And he's like, whoever said that, I want him dead. I want him dead. Because a lot of the villains were laughing. As Bungo, Izuku, everyone, even freaking Aizawa was like, what the? I'm like, what? He literally needs chopstick. I mean, he has the K quirk, and it doesn't work on him, I think. I mean, I don't really think so, but hey, whatever. Like, wait, Aizawa goes like, how do you know this? I'm like, questions later, fight now. Actually, I'm actually not really pissed. Bucko, say something mean to me. And he goes like, what you want, you angry freaking... As he says, you're angry, junky, bastard. And I'm like, okay, that did get me angry. Yeah, I'm just gonna freaking wreck all these people. As in this, I just jump off and, like, the little mist that goes around me just like coming off is just there as I just punch my fist right into the ground. In which after I jump, basically, and Aizawa goes like, what is this?" And then punch the ground, crater, and shockwave happens, and like some villains did like get sent flying. As then that did hurt my hand because I punched the ground. I'm like, okay, that does hurt. As that was only like 2% what Bakugo did, and then since I punched the ground, it rises. I did forget to mention that. Well, nah, I just say this. Okay, so as I've been working out, my limit was at least 20, and then 25%, and I can, since I've been working out a whole lot more since then, since the start of UA, I can go at the least 30 to roughly 40. Yeah. And so then, I just saying like to the villains, saying, "Hey villains, you want to fight someone? Fight me!" As I'm just gonna let them hit me. So the villains who have physical like quirks come at me and try to hit me with random objects. With Aizawa is just like, what is he doing? As Bakugo just says, they're dead. Even Izuku says they're dead. As like everyone goes like, what do you mean? He goes like, remember, his quirk is called Wrath. So what do you think is gonna happen when they hit him? As everyone looks and they look back, like they look at me just getting beaten up, while my percentage of wrath is going up and up and up. As they go like, and they look back at Izuku and Bakugo, and then they look back at me, and then back at them, and they're like, oh, yeah. As Kirigiri does something like teleport most of the people away. Deku like uses fire quirk real quick, but increase the flame to where it goes blue and and burns away the sheet of metal and tells Ida to run as fast as it can get help. So Tsuyu, Mineta, no, Mineta's not there. So Tsuyu and Deku just go to the same area as everyone else does, and Aizawa goes like, 13, guard the rest of the kids. As she was right. As Aizawa jumps in. As then I reach up to at least 25, and then boom, all of a sudden, like I just like erupt. Like Vegeta Vegeta bursts out of the rock from Dragon Ball. One of the Dragon Ball games or the Dragon Ball anime. I mean, yeah, Dragon Ball Z anime. And it's like they all get sent flying. And Aizawa goes like, while he was midway down the stairs, he was like, what the? As then I go like, alright, who wants to feel my fist in their face? As everyone's like, well, like, what the heck is this kid? And then I just disappear, and all of a sudden, like, 2 to 3 people get sent flying through the air. As then I just come up out of nowhere, I just start I just like keep on punching more and more people, send them flying, and they're gonna take it out with ease. The only thing that's gonna basically be a big problem is that what's gonna be the problem that's gonna happen? Oh yeah, Kirigiri and Shigaraki are gonna basically be like a little bit terrified because they see like a freaking kid like with this all amount of like aura coming off of him, and he's only like at 25% of his wrath. Basically, like, start showing off like he has like 4 more arms popping up out of nowhere, and he can move them simultaneously with his while he's like trying to throw punches in the direction that he does, and they're like, okay, so what is this quirk? As Shigaraki asks, and Kiryu says, I do not know, but it's quite dangerous and very, very destructive. As they can see, basically, a lot of people are like just when people do are. I'm actually I'm actually trying to hold back on the punches, but people still get sent flying with a broken bone or two. And me, my healing factor is just like healing. The more angry I get, the more, it heals quick. So yeah. As then they, nearly when half of the League of Villains attack, armies, well, villains are basically knocked out or severely like hurt. Shigaraki and Kirigiri just bring out the Nomu. And this is when Aizawa goes like, wait, that's a, what thing, wait, is that a person? Or is that a thing? Aizawa goes, that is a thing! The one I told you about! So, stay out of this! As Shigaraki and Kirigiri are like, what the frick? How did he know this? How does he know this? And so I go like, okay, alright, so how am I gonna do this? Can I send out freaking like energy blast into the Nomu? Maybe it can't absorb it? Or do I just freaking punch it with putting energy into it? Like, can I even do that? As then I realized the Nomu was right in front of me. I like, oh crud. And then boom, Nomu punched me right in the face, and my face into the ground. I'm like, okay, that got me angry a little. As my percentage is rising. As I get up and I just start punching, I punch the Nomu back in the gut, in which it absorbed most of the shockwave. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. 25% ain't, 30% ain't good enough. Oh, crud. And so, I start to get pummeled. I'm not gonna lie. I start to get pummeled, beaten, and, well, my anger, my wrath quirk is starting to go up in percentage. To the point where it's already at 50%. That means more of an aura is coming around me, and it's basically Shigaraki and Kirigiri don't understand what's happening. Neither does Aizawa. I'm like going like, okay, what the freak's happening? My body keeps on regenerating, like healing so quick because of this. At 50%, is it like super regeneration? As well, Aizawa does come in. Like, he basically says, my students they get killed. Should never have listened to this kid. As he tries to deactivate the quirk, the Nomu basically does like hit me, send me flying to Aizawa. Then Aizawa, catches me and such. I told him, get the freak away from here. And honestly, it's way more dangerous that you're here now. He's like, why? He goes like, I'm at 52% of my wrath. That means if I go any higher, I can't even use this much without breaking out a leg or an arm now. Probably be like, probably fractured in multiple places. Or should I say, like, broken in multiple places. As I goes like, how dangerous is your quirk to yourself? He goes like, very. As then, like, the Nomu does come over and he tries to hit me, but Aizawa pushed me out of the way. And then, well, the Nomu just keeps on going after me for a little bit until Bakugo, Kirishima, Deku, Tsuyu, Gen, and Aizawa basically all trying to help out. And that was like 30 minutes. Like, this like 10 minutes later, and like the percentage is at 62. And this is where the my quirk is going to have like a big burst of power at 100%. So yeah. Anyways, so Bakugo and Zuko basically use a combination attack of his fire and Bakugo's explosion try to hit the Nomu, which it burns the Nomu and send it flying. In which I get up and they can see that my body's like basically like healing and like really quickly. I'm like, they're basically saying, how the heck you said you had a healing factor? And I'm like, yeah. How is it this quick? I'm like, the more wrath I have, the more fast I heal. And like, Bakugo says, what percentage you at? I go like 60. It's like 2 or something. I can't keep track. I think the number kept on hitting me in the head. I might be even at 70. As Bakugo just backing away, he was like, I'm not here. Don't come at me. I'm like, don't worry, you're not gonna die. As as soon as my whole entire body's like healed off, I'm like, okay, now let's see how much power this has. As the aura is around me is a lot. Everyone can see it. It's very, very like it's hard to even be seen through. As I make an energy in my hand and I just punch at the Nomu, which it flies and hits. It takes out the Nomu's stomach and then it regenerates. It's like that hurts a lot. Ow, 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 ow. As all of a sudden I feel my hand healing. It's like I can't handle this much power. I'm useless now. So basically, the move gets back over to me. Deku and Bakugo try to do exactly the same thing. Tsuyu, Kirishima try to help. Aizawa tries to deactivate the quirk. Let's just say Kirishima gets hit first. Then Tsuyu is about to get hit by getting the wing, get hit because I was near her, and I get sent flying into a wall. And basically, Aizawa and Bakugo do try to hit the Nomu. Well, Bakugo tries to use an explosion, and Aizawa tries to stop the Nomu's quirk, and Deku just trying to use his fire breath, in which the Nomu basically tanks it all, and basically what happens is that it just punches Aizawa, kicks Bakugo, which sends him flying, looks at Midoriya, and then just Midoriya is just shaking. Well, he's shaking in fear, but has a smile on his face as he says to himself, "I can't move." As I'm seeing this all happen, my anger is bottling up. It's actually because of because I made friends with these people, and it's like I don't. This is my real personality. If someone hurts my friends, I don't like it. I get angry. So basically, it's like, I'm thinking to myself, this thing hurt my friends, and I'm trying not to go beyond that 9. I'm at 99. I'm trying not to go beyond that 100. As in, I tell Zuko to run, and he can't, and so I'm like, and I see that fist about to go. I see the Nomu's fist going down, and it's basically about to, it's near Midoriya's head, and he's not moving. And so then when my limit breaks, my wrath, erupts from me, and everyone stopped, including the Nomu, and because everyone heard a big explosion. The Nomu stopped because Deku just sees a red mist covering around him and the Nomu. And he just hears something growling like they're just a wild animal. And the Nomus get sent flying. And through this mist, this red mist, he just sees a red eyes glowing. It's just like a wild beast is there, he's thinking, and no one can see it. And boom, shockwave, jump, the ground cracks, and the Nobu gets hit, and then multiple blasts are being shot within this red mist. Because Bakugo and Aizawa, even Izuku goes that's Soul. And they just hear, Aah! Just like that, just screaming. Not really like that, but more angry screaming. Imagine just Asura. And just all of a sudden, just diving down, and the Nomu basically has multiple parts of him, gone. and such. But then it regenerates real quick. And well, I try to throw a punch and Nomu blocks it with his hand. And basically everyone just couldn't see the Nomu very well. And then I get thrown while in an angry state. And, no, I don't get thrown. I get freaking Loki'd, back and forth. And then just throwing, he jumps. Basically, he just like jumps forward, grabs my face, smashes into the ground, and I'm just getting dragged into it. As then I just grab the Nomu's arm and breaking it, just like getting off and turn. Well, actually, I'm able to then go onto his arm, break it then that way too. I bury it by the wrist, and then I'm able to do it that way when I'm able to go onto it and do that. And then like I jump off and just looking back, and then the Nomu regenerates, and basically, I'm just a wild beast, so I'm not gonna be thinking anything or nothing. And so what happens is, me and the Nomu start clashing fist to fist. Basically, it's like All Might fight, but it's way more intense. Everyone can hear the sound of breaking bones, blood spatter on the ground and such. It's just like the Nomu's having a hard time keeping up because I'm going to be on the limit of 100%. I keep on going. And basically, my body is not healing anymore. It's just attaching. Basically like, think of the Berserker armor, where it just keeps your everything at body part like a 10 together and like keeps it just all there. Yeah, that's what my wrath is basically doing. It's basically underneath my skin, in my body, and on the outside, and basically keeping it together. But since my wrath keeps on rising, it basically is doing a lot of work. It's even like sewing up some muscle fibers that are breaking apart and such. It's doing a lot of freaking medical work. Hold on. Alright, so yeah. So basically, while this is all happening, everyone gathered together. You're just basically seeing this red mist, red eyes, creature, basically. They don't even know what it is. Some people are saying, what is that thing? Is that a villain? As Ina and Kirishima, Tsuyu, Aizawa, Bakugo, Deku, and I think I said Jiromina, so yeah. They say that is Soul, which everyone's confused, and they're like, how can that be? As Bakugo says, he reached 100% and he snapped. And this is what he can do? As they see like freaking the ground breaking. As Bakugo, as Aizawa says, it's like All Might. It's like All Might, but why do I keep on hearing that? They can hear the sound of bones break, like the sound of something cracking. As Deku says, that's the sound of his bones breaking. And basically Bakugo says, how is he able to do that then? Like, keep going. As, well, Deku says it could be some berserker-like state. Like, his wrath basically got overload, and when it hit 100, it might have been like, it does that red mist, but he might have snapped and it might have increased to go past 100. So maybe this is just a new, like, a more advanced version of his quirk to be called Berserk. It upgraded in the midst of battle. And Bakugo says, okay, don't talk about RPGs like this, okay? He's like, sorry. He's like, but, Bakugo says, I gotta agree though. It is acting like a berserker. He is acting like one right now. Yeah, of course, like Aizawa said, when someone's angry enough, they don't freaking care what's happening as long as they punch whoever made them angry. As everyone, so yeah. Even the Todoroki is seeing this, he's like, what the frick is happening? How did I lose to this monk, like, someone with this much power, who didn't have that much control over it? As, the fight's going on, All Might does appear, and then, there's, a lot of damage, and, a lot of things are just happening. I get thrown, I throw the Nomu, basically punches, I even shove my fist right into the Nomu's arms and other body parts, and then next thing you know, all of a sudden, when All Might says, I am here. What the heck is going on? This is when freaking full on power, all the mist started to go right into my right fist. Like all the mist, all my wrath. And then all of a sudden you could just hear it saying, now, die! As I just throw, like they see, like it's when I throw my fist, they can see all the mist still going into it. And right when it's about to go near the Nomu, it basically turned into a ball. My fist is just glowing red, and then boom, hitting the Nomu. Pretend Asura, with Deus, and punching the Nomu like that, and now a stream of red energy just happens, and the Nomu is being disintegrated, and most of everything right behind the Nomu is gone. Kirigiri and Shigaraki got out of there already because they look like they can. We're not gonna see the end of this, unfortunately. Kirigiri says, unfortunately, Tomura Shigaraki, we had to leave. And Shigaraki goes, yeah, I'm not staying here. And they already left. So, as soon as that's like the Nobu's gone, I just do like one last scream until passed out standing. Well, unconscious standing, with my mouth open and screaming, and everyone sees it. Sees what happens to me afterwards. A whole lot of, broken bones and blood. Because of the broken bone, Izuku Midoriya, it's like when Midoriya faced, muscular, but it's way worse. A little bit. So yeah, and they see my body looked like it was just attached together from multiple places. They get the hospital already, and they already called it someone to get over there, and the cops. All the villains that were there basically surrendered because they couldn't take this. They basically just said, "Save us, heroes!" And yeah, so they surrendered really easily after that. Because of that. And so analyst comes, they ask how many is hurt. They just see the one student that's hurt really badly. They say, oh no, and they just check to see. They say somehow he is still alive, but we have to go back we have to take him to the hospital. And so I get to the hospital. They do multiple scans and airshock to see every part of my bones are broken, but somehow are attached. Holding it looks like a red. Something red is covering my bones, keeping it in place, and even my fibers, as basically, and Recovery Girl sees this, and she looks and her eyes, you could just see her eyes widening, and she goes, how the heck does this kid still have a heartbeat? Everything is still working. How? And so, she heals to the best of her ability, and it's for some reason, I still have a lot of energy even though I'm unconscious. And just basically it heals, right? It heals all the way. Everything that was broken healed. And she was like, huh? And then they do readings, and they even my quirk, and they say his quirk may have basically evolved to being more what it was. He may have a bigger problem now than he ever had. My parents were there. The doctor told him what was the outcome and how was my bones and everything, and they go so this is what he meant. Don't be surprised. We aren't. I say, wait, what? You do? And they just say, yep, he had a gut feeling about something, so he warned us. And so what happens is that as soon as I wake up, Recovery Girl has her cane. She's about to hit me. I catch it, and then just with a little flex of my muscle, I crush it. She's like, I'm like, oh, sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm not even angry. Well, I'm always angry, but still, I didn't use no percent. Well, besides 1%. And she was like, your quirk evolves. I'm just gonna say that. Bye. But he goes, wait, your cane. She goes, I got it. That wasn't my real cane. And and then I see her like walking away for she throws the cane, she grabs the real one, just walks away. I'm like, huh. Alright. Cool. Hold on, everyone. Alright, everyone. So yeah, as soon as she leaves, basically she says, she basically yells out to everyone, he's alive and he's awake. Go visit him only 2 to 3 at a time. And so my parents come in along with Aizawa. My parents scold me, and Aizawa basically says, problem child, are you alright? I'm like, I get to be called problem child. I say to myself in my head. I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. A little stiff though. I mean, as Aizawa says, your quirk kept you, everything in your body together somehow, which is strange. And my parents basically say, are you an idiot? You went against something that could kill All Might. I go, correction. It was something that could kill All Might, but it couldn't kill me. I'm too angry to die. In which my father kind of laughs at this, and Aizawa goes like, you believe that, huh? He goes like, nope, I just always wanted to say that line. And my parents knew this, so they're like, yeah, he always have. He basically said if he ever had something like this ever happen, he was going to say it. And then, my parents just say, we're going to talk later about this. And then, everyone in class when I started to come in, Izuku, Bako, Jiro, then Mina, Kirishima, Momo. Now Bako says, how the heck are you this strong? I go like, I don't know, I kept feeling my wrath go beyond my limits. And Izuku goes, so like a berserker state? Yeah, pretty much. And, Jiro just saying, that was really terrifying. Even at the end, I'm like, what happened? As they tell me, I'm like, oh god. And I think, Asura. That was Asura moment. That was an Asura moment. If I had the 4 arms, and then that happened, that would have been totally Asura. No wonder why my basically quirk is called Wrath. I'm Asura. As I just keep on laughing, and they, because they keep on saying that, and like, what's so funny? Well, oh, sorry, it just reminds me of something that I, the god Asura, right? And they're like, yeah, how he's always like the god of wrath. He's like, yeah, my quirk is called Wrath. Yeah, get it? Asura, his god of wrath. My quirk called Wrath. Like, are you saying you're a god? Like, no. I'm saying my quirk and the god of wrath are similar. They're like, are you really making a joke right now? Like, yes, I am, and I'm proud of it. They just look at me like, what are we gonna do with you? I go, absolutely nothing. You can't stop me. They're like, true. Mina, Kirishima. Well, Mina says, you're an idiot. You could have died. I'm like, what's happening? And, basically, she basically, like, hits me on the head. I'm like, ow. Okay. Cinderella moment or not? I'm just thinking, and then Kirishima says, that was so manly and terrifying all exactly at the same time. I'm like, okay. And yeah, everyone keeps on telling me I was an idiot for basically almost dying. Hey, I just tell them it's not my fault. I lost basically my control over my quirk. So yeah. And Momoto Aizawa that, and Nezu, All Might, came in along with Aizawa again, and they asked me, how did I do that, and how did I know about they were coming, and do you know who the League of Villains are? I go like, yeah, Tomura Shigaraki, Kirigiri, all for one, and there's supposed to be some other people, but that's not yet, so I can't tell you. And I say, are you working with them? I'm like, no. Then how you know their names? They're like, you would never believe me if I told you. And they tribe us. I'm like, all right. So I basically asked my parents to come in, which the hospital said, no, only like 3 people at a time. I'm like, I basically just say, let them come in. And like, all right. And so as soon as my parents come in, I tell them. They want to know how did I know, and okay, tell them. And I'm like, okay. So I told them everything about who I was, about how I knew, and about how their world was technically an anime when I was alive, and somehow it became real, and that I know a lot how this story's gonna end. Well, ish. And so they're like, going like, what? I'm like, yeah, I know how it's gonna end ish. I'm not gonna say because I'm not gonna reveal too much because I want to have some fun with this. Like, is this a game to you? I'm like, as Awa just says, I'm like, a little bit. Like, what do you mean it's a game? I'm like, it's a game to see how things are changing. Like, what? Yeah, like, Izuku Midori wasn't supposed to have a quirk to begin with in the anime. And here, though, he does. And they go like, what do you mean? He goes like, Izuku Midori was supposed to be quirkless. And then All Might gives him a power. Able to give him a power because of something. And Aizawa and Nezu knows about this. They're like, what? How do you know about One for All? I say, they're like, easy. The anime. Basically, it's the first user who can transfer over the quirk to our people. So that means Izuku Midori was supposed to get it. And yeah. Just because he has a fire breath. Hold on, one. Alright, so I'm back. But anyways, it's as I was saying, I freaking forgot where I left off, but I think I said it was just a game. A little bit of it, as I said, is this a game to you? I said a little bit. It's just because things are different, and then like All Might, say about his quirk and all that, and then say about how they know. I said about the anime. It's just like it's so simple. I know what's gonna happen for anyone else, but I can't reveal it because well, things can always happen way different. So, you guys gonna try to say I was withholding information, say I'm a villain, and yet here I am, the guy with the overpowered quirk that allows me to do what All Might does, but when I'm angry, and which I have a lot more destruction force, and which I have potential to lose my whole entire being in my anger. Because the way I was seeing it, I didn't see nothing. I was like not even there until when it was almost when I killed the Nomu. So also, by the way, that thing wasn't alive. It had two quirks, which does say, yeah, I could tell it. Even though we took away its shock absorption, it regenerated. And yeah, that was the most. Well, he said we took away something, but it still regenerated. And I go, yeah, shock absorption and regeneration. You're welcome, All Might. I prevented you from wasting any more of your time. As, because of that injury of yours on your left side, and like half your lung organs are gone. Which All Might does hold his side and be like, without me telling you, and you knew this, it's kind of creepy. I'm like, yeah, most of the stuff I do is somewhat creepy, but hey, it's whatever. So, when can I get out of the hospital? Because I feel fine. Nothing's hurting, nothing's broken. So yeah, as there's you can leave right now, actually. So, I get off everything. I take everything off of me, besides the hospital robe, and I say, well, if you guys excuse me, as I say, get in my room so I can change. And it's like, alright, everyone just leaves. So I get changed, I come out, everyone's wondering, you're leaving already? Like, yeah, I feel fine. They're like, wow, you heal quick. And like, yeah, kind of that I may have passed my limits, as the doctor does come over, like, wait, you're leaving? I go like, yeah. Like, but your quirk, it evolved. They're like, wait, what? Okay, yeah, I heard you said that, but come on. I couldn't really evolved. They're like, no, I need to show you. As well, my parents and me go to a room where they actually show tests what they did on my quirk. And it shows that it changed in the midst of battle and became way more powerful. I'm like, come on! Now I got to worry about something else with this. I was having enough time controlling this. Now I have even a bigger, harder time going to control this, as the doctor just says. Whatever level you like percentage that you were able to control it at, increase your strength and the healing of your quirk. Physical strength is increased. Healing, it's increased. Basically, you can use 40% of your 35% of your strength at all times. I'm like, so that's how I broke the. Yes, you have to work on your physical strength now, controlling it. I'm like, great. More work. I need some basically inhibitors or something to make sure my strength is regulated. Maybe I can get something. As the doctor just says, does it do this often? As my parents says, yes, he does. I'm like, whatever, let's just go. I'm tired. Well, I'm not really tired, I'm hungry. As they thank the doctor, I thank the doctor, and we leave. And yeah, so that's what happens. And that's where I'm gonna leave it off, everyone. No. So basically, the next day I go into school. Everyone's wondering what the freak happened. Like, some people heard rumors about me taking down the Nomu. Others don't believe it. And then Aizawa comes in saying, sports festival, train for 2 weeks. Yeah, so basically, during the 2 weeks, I work on making something for my physical strength, and then I focus on my quirk, all exactly at the same time. So, basically, I can go up to, since I basically have 40% of my strength increased to without my quirk, Wrath activated. I'm still at 1%, and yet I have 40% of my strength. So that's a lot. And so, I then basically found something how to, make sure I don't break anything so easily. And it's just some, I guess it's basically, I figured out some pressure points that could weaken my strength a little, but that's it. So, yeah, I had that happen. And, my quirk now, I can go up to around 50, since it's a lot more easier for me to work out. So, yeah. 50% and in physical strength wise. In quirk strength wise now. So yeah, and then when the sports festival comes up, everyone in class 1A talks about the reporters too and all that, and then the whole entire thing in class 1B, support course, and general studies come over, and I open the door though, and they say, "Hey, look, it's class 1A student." I'm like, "Hey, look, it's a whole bunch of people who are mad because they're not in class 1A." Nah, I'm just kidding with you. But no, you guys are just really being childish here. You guys need to move. As Monoma comes over, he goes like, "Oh, look, he thinks he's better than I." Like, you shut it, because you're just annoying, stupid, and basically your quirk can only copy people's other quirks, and you can't even keep them for that long. If you could copy someone that's really strong quirk, you have to work at it. You have to get a general knowledge of it or information on how to use it. But your physical body cannot handle it, and you focus more on copying people's quirks, and yet you don't try to work on your body so that way you can at least adapt to the quirks very easily. And Monoma just shuts it, and Shinson comes over like, "Hey, look, it's the guy who freaking hates his quirk, and yet though technically it's OP if he's a detective. Are you a freaking idiot? Like, you're mad because people say your quirk is villainous. So what? My quirk is called Wrath. Called Wrath. Basically, I'm a walking angry pool of rage, anger, and I can basically destroy people with one punch. With only 3% because the normal human body cannot handle my punches. But now, I basically have kind of increased in strength to my percentage of my strength because of that freaking Nomu. So, I can basically kill anyone still in one punch. And he goes, wait, how you know about my quirk? I'm like, I'm not dealing with this, you extras. As Bakugo says, hey, that's my line. I'm like, yeah, so what, Angry Pomeranian? You're too slow. As I'm just walking past everyone, as everyone just wondering, what the freak? Jiro, Mina, Kirishima, Bakugo, and Midoriya just all run out. As everyone's just confused. And Mina says, that was kind of mean. I'm like, not really. I mean, did Aizawa tell you guys about me? As they nod, and Bakugo and Izuku go like, why you never told us that you freaking died already once and came back to life in this world with an OP quirk that is your actual anger? How angry were you when you freaking died? I'm like, I wasn't angry. It was just all bottled up inside. As then Izuku goes like, so instead of being like Bakugo, you held in your anger and then that transferred over when you died. I'm like, yep. No wonder why you kept on breaking your body, your bones and everything so easily. As I look at him, I was like, what do you mean? You're like, because your anger was limitless. And no matter how much percentage you can control, you still break a bone. And I'm like, and I think to myself, darn you, Midoriya. How did you understand that so easily? It took me a while to understand. Well, it didn't take me that much of a while because I understand my wrath. But still, come on. As Mina, Kirishima, Banky's running saying, hey guys, wait for me! It's basically Mina, Jiro, and Kirishima just like thinking to themselves, seriously, how angry did you have to be to hold that all in? I mean, like, how were you able to hold all that in? And Kirishima goes like, bro, I know that's manly of you to hold in your anger, but that wasn't healthy. I'm like, healthiness isn't the way I was going for at the time when I was alive and with a world with no quirks. So as they go all stop and they're like, what? You guys knew? As I always told you guys about how I died and all about how I lived in a world before I got reincarnated, right? As they go, did you tell them about there was no quirks? I go, yeah. So wait, there's a dimension of reality where there's no quirks. I'm like, no powers, nothing. Physical strength is all you have. And basically, there's a lot of things you can do when you're quirkless. And Bakugo's like, what? As I just list them off, as Bakugo goes like, okay, I admit, I am wrong about quirkless people. They are awesome. Why do I have no quirk? I'm like, wow, I wrote Bakugo, and his ideals of quirkless people. And so Izuku goes like, wait, so what about me? I like, you were supposed to be quirkless and get a quirk from All Might. I'm like, he was like, wait, what? As I think I did make Izuku have the quirk for All Might. Someone let me know that, because I'll fix that in part 4. But yeah, so as Bakugo was like, so you were quirkless and then you get in a quirk when you from All Might. I'm like, yep, he becomes the number 1 hero. You become number 2. And by the way, I was like, I'm gonna become the number 1 hero. He goes, why? Because I was able to defeat the Nomu. Yeah, but you also can become a villain, as Izuku says. They're like, true. I'll become an anti-hero then. An anti-what? Okay, actually, then I basically explain to him. Okay, an anti-hero basically is somebody that only does things for themselves. So basically, I can help someone, but I can also take their money. I can then basically kill someone and basically save a person's life. I don't follow the rules of heroes. I can follow my own path the way I feel like I want to do. It's all about me, basically. And also, just brooding in the darkness like on a building, just thinking about what to do. Basically, beat down people, don't rest, beat them to near death, almost like they're to near death experience, or break a couple of bones and such. Be brutal. Don't be like a hero saying I'll protect you all. Basically, I could just do that and then even kill the guy and just hey, I don't care. As Deku and Baku will be like, that's nobody here does. I thought reasons why. Anti-hero. Look it up. As Izuku does. As well, he got the general gist of it now. It's along with Baku, Kirishima, Mina, Kaminari, and Jiro. As they so if you became like this, then there's no stopping me. No one can ever stop me. I don't even think a Razorhead can even erase my quirk. And but wait, Mr. Aizawa goes like, yeah, remember Razorhead? It was like, oh yeah, sorry, we forget about that sometimes. It's fine. So yeah. Um. Anyways, after Eden, everyone goes to sports festival, and then announcements, and then saying like, um, Soul Reaper, come on up. And then next thing you know, I come up, and people are booing me. Some of the classes, some of the kids in different classes, and I go like, as then I say, hello, testing, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then there's like that mic where it just makes that weird sound where everyone hates. I'm like, hello, got all your attentions. So, my name is Soul Reaper, and well, I've got a few things to say. I hope everyone does everything what they could in this sports festival, showing everyone what they're capable of. But if you can't, don't worry about it. You can have like 2 more chances, but the first one of a first impression is always a good thing. So, I just want to say, do your best and don't get mad if you lose, because basically use what you gain from this loss to your advantage. And my other words I want to say is, recently my quirk evolved, and it seemed like my physical capabilities have advanced to the point where my quirk percentage I could control. So, fortunately for all of you, you guys are going to lose. Simple as that. But here's the thing. I have worked on controlling my strength relatively easily. Figured out a way how to decrease my physical strength without my quirk on. Well, my quirk is always on, but without my quirk's help. So, hopefully, it doesn't go too bad, but hey, we're gonna try it out and see. So, I wish everyone luck, and, hopefully everyone can have a fun day and be entertained, and, well, I'm gonna win. Bye, everyone. As I just kind of walking down, some people are clapping, other people are just going like, what the heck? He said it so cheerfully without any arrogance in his voice. Well, I was trying to go for that, but it's like, some people are just like questioning everything. My parents are just kind of laughing about it, because they're there, which Mitsuki and Inko are there, they're like, wait, do we know, as they basically said, as my dad says, so that was hilarious. As then I see my dad like, hi, Dad. I just wave as Inko and Mishi look at me like, you're Soul's parents. And I'm like, as I look over and I see, and then basically when I get back over to Zuko and Baku, I say, hey guys, our parents saw each other again. As they like, oh no, they're gonna embarrass us so much. And I'm like, yep, get ready for it. So, try to come 3rd place. As, Izuku says, they go like, what do you mean? The third place on the podium, like, win this. As we all argue that we're going to win first, and then I just say, I'm going to win. As they're like, we know you are. We're arguing for 2nd. And they're like, oh, I thought we were arguing for 1st. I mean, we were, but then we realized that you're going to win. Like, true. Alright. Well, let's get this thing started as midnight comes up and starts to do that wheel thing, then it's the obstacle course, and then, yeah, that's why I'm leaving it off. So, bye everyone, hope you guys have a nice day, night, wherever you are, and, yeah, bye.